Hello, everyone from St. Paul of the Cross Retreat Center. We've begun the season of Lent, and as we were reminded at the Ash Wednesday liturgies, that this is the acceptable time. This is the day of salvation. And this is a special couple of days before we hit the first Sunday of Lent, which we call the vestibule of Lent, that entryway point into the season. And the lectionary reminds us in the readings for the Masses that this is that acceptable time to get ready. As we get ready for that first Sunday of Lent, where we hear each year the story of Jesus tempted in the desert by the devil, and how he responds and doesn't react to the devil's temptations, Jesus invites us to do likewise. St. Paul, in his letter to the Corinthians that we read at Ash Wednesday, tells us that we're called to be ambassadors for Christ. This Lent, we have an opportunity to fast from the things that keep us from God and feast on the things that bring us closer to God. To feast on God's love, to feast on God's mercy, to avail ourselves to the sacrament of penance, to spend more time feasting in delight at the table of the Eucharist, feasting on God's holy word, feasting on relationships that nourish us, feasting on God's forgiveness, and then doing likewise. Bringing God's forgiveness, God's mercy, God's love to the people in our lives that perhaps we've turned away from, that we've stopped talking to the places that need new life. Because Lent means spring. And don't we all need a little bit of spring? A little bit of God's spring that helps us to be those ambassadors in everything we say and do. We hope that you'll either Zoom in with us on the Holy Thursdays of Lent, or you'll come in person at 12 noon for that 1 hour of quiet time here at St. Paul of the Cross Retreat Center. We're getting ready for our St. Joseph Day evening prayer and dinner, a wonderful way to interrupt that season of Lent to honor the patron of the Universal Church, St. Joseph, the foster father of Christ. We also have a day of recollection coming up about the Passion narratives, those narratives of the gospel story that we hear each year on Palm Sunday and Good Friday. And Monsignor Donardo will be with us to help us learn more about those opportunities to understand God's Word even fuller. We also have an Easter egg hunt on Holy Saturday morning for children to come to our garden as we anticipate the great vigil of Easter. Our Triduum Retreat, a time for quiet beginning on Holy Thursday night and lasting through Easter Saturday morning. All these opportunities are ways for each of us and all of us to grow closer to God. And as we go out into the world, marked with those ashes, we're reminded of whose we are and who we are, God's beloved children. And we are those ambassadors that Paul calls the Corinthian community to be. And I think God is calling us to be as well. Happy Lent to all of you.